Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria 3, where we have an inactive trade route, and this is because Austria actually just started an embargo on us, which is, vaguely rude, but whatever, we're embargoing them, so fair enough. We're gonna cancel that trade route then, and let's take a look at what else we have going on here. Overall this looks decent. I think we've already dealt with both of these low market accesses, so we require fabric, opium, fabric, and glass. I mean, fabric is in there twice. Fair enough. We could consider importing this. We are apparently the number 5 producer worldwide. I wouldn't mind increasing our fabric production. I'm wondering what our... Okay, let's go into our buildings here and look at livestock ranches. So we don't have any here. Or here. Or here. I know we have livestock ranches somewhere. Okay, here we go. So I'm looking, our cash reserves is full on livestock ranches there. So that seems reasonable. We may want to consider building a few extra livestock ranches somewhere. Let's go ahead and sort by revenue here. And North Rhine does seem like the place to go. I'm only going to build a level 1, and then it can expand itself after that via the auto expand. So I just wanted to get a new ranch going there. The armed forces have expressed their concerns about government decisions clearly favoring the interests of the industrialists. Choosing is always hard, not because the decision is difficult to make, but because the consequences can be a bit inconvenient. Rumors are spreading like smoke from a factory, staining the clear air of Prussia with a dense and vicious poison. We could address their concerns, and we're going to, but we're still going to follow an industrialist policy. Absolutely. So that'll be fine. We're not going to enact agrarianism. I can tell you that right now. Looking at this status here, it looks pretty good, all things considered. We're almost done with our credit, so that's great. Once we are done paying off our interest, then we will certainly be looking to lower taxes. Ideally, we get to a point where we're able to run middle taxes and middle wages. Currently, we're not at that point. This would cost 40k, this would cost a total of, call it 58k. And then this would be 95k. So, obviously, we can't really afford that right now. Not while we're constructing this aggressively, anyway. So we're going to have to eventually back off on our constructions a little bit, but I'm expecting that to just naturally happen in a bit. Austria re-began embargoing us? Oh, okay. I thought they already were. I thought they were before that, to be fair. They must be ending their embargo and then restarting it. Very strange. We're in an economic conflict with Austria right now, and we're just hoping that doesn't escalate right now into being a military conflict, because we kind of can't take them. Where is this? France? Okay. I guess that's reasonable. I'm looking at our pop growth here. 118,000 per month, huh? Or per year, actually. Okay. Well, power plants are being built in Anhalt. That'll be finishing up shortly. And we're going to continue producing a lot more, not really like revenue generating buildings. I mean, they are, but we're going to be making more money here shortly, I believe. Power plants are fairly expensive to build. These coal mines are going to be finishing up. Those are pretty cheap, in all honesty. Enact migration controls. What does this actually do? Yes, discriminated pops disallowed from migrating. Movement between states in the same market or between countries facilitated by migration targets. I actually don't really care about migration. I'm not going to enact that right now. It seems reasonably fine. Hey look, Austria has begun embargoing us. Okay, Austria. Cool. We'll keep an eye on this, and I'm also keeping an eye on our radicals. That is trending somewhat down-ish. but also up. Like, it's down since... Actually, it's about even, now that I look at it. Our loyalists are trending slightly down. Now, we do need to cut taxes in order to deal with that. We're going to have our credit paid off very shortly, and that's very, very good. Socialism has been unlocked. Okay. Cool. +1 minimum expected standard of living from literacy. Sure. Speaking of literacy, I would like to look at potentially increasing our education. We're on public schools right now. Okay. And we can't increase our budget for this, I guess? Interesting. I would have expected us to be able to increase or decrease our education budget. Our literacy is number 20 worldwide. And is this going up? I think it is. We're at 63% literacy, so I would like to see that increase. But overall, we're at 81.1k now in terms of our cash. That's great. We are about to be done paying off our credit. Ooh, what's this? The Brave Engineer. A railroad accident in North Rhine only narrowly avoided heavy fatalities due to the quick thinking of the train's engineer, who perished in the crash. Only a few people died, but the wreckage will still take some time to clear. Come, you all-rounders, if you want to hear a story all about a brave engineer. Okay, so we could reduce the infrastructure for 5 years. Or we could gain some support for trade unions, while also getting -5 infrastructure. So either way, we get -5 infrastructure. The question is, how do we feel about the trade unions? They're currently happy with us and considered influential. Okay, let's get their approval then. Cool. We can boost that up a little bit further. Sounds good. So our constructions are going nicely. 3 weeks until some of these are finishing up. Cool. And let's see here. That's the wheat farm there. Have we already built the livestock ranch that I queued up? I think we have. Interesting. I wasn't expecting that to already have been built, but it looks like it is. Fascinating. We're tearing through these constructions quite quickly, although we could tear through them more quickly. For the moment, I'm still interested in just paying down our credit. We could drop to here. That's potentially interesting. Okay, large numbers of Polish people have begun migrating to Rift Valley. Sure. We could put a consumption tax on opium. Actually, yes. Let's do that. Let's put a consumption tax on opium, but then let's drop our taxes down to high taxes at this point. So that'll be fine. Okay, we have some production methods for naval bases. Cool. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. That'll be in our development here. And we can jump on down. Fantastic. Okay, so this seems reasonable. The consumption tax on opium, I think, will be fine. Can we, like, set the level of that consumption tax? No. And we're not making a lot out of that, but we're making a little bit. So that'll be fine. Reasonably fine, anyway. And we're making 38.9k now. Cool. But dropping those taxes should be quite beneficial to us in terms of radicals. Oh yeah, we can see the radicals are heavily starting to drop off since we did that. I like it. And the loyalists are starting to improve. Ish. Fantastic. So we're still running a surplus here, and we will be no longer in debt in approximately a year. So that's cool. insufficient taxation capacity in North Rhine, so we should definitely build ourselves a government administration here. There we go. We'll get that underway. Cool. Only the one state in turmoil right now. Fabric and opium are still expensive, as well as glass. We should be working on that, though. Sulfur mines, wheat farms, textile mills, glassworks. Sure. Okay, fantastic. We now have access to synthetic plants. So that's a big deal, actually, because synthetic plants will produce dye. I believe... Yeah, art silk for the technology. Okay, so we need the technology there. But I do want to get a couple of synthetic plants building, because we don't produce any dye ourselves right now, as far as I'm aware. Actually, let's hop into our market here and take a look at... Let's see, which one of these would be dyes? This is silk here. I want to sort by market price. There we go. That's, of course, opium. Porcelain. Okay. I don't know these icons as well as I'd like just yet. We'll get there. Dye. Here we go. So, we are not a significant producer of dye, as I thought. Price is only a little high, so I'm not going to build too much here. We're going to take synthetic plants, and we're going to build them in Posen and in Anhalt. There we go. Just one level in each. So that way we have some baseline production. That'll be fine. Excellent. And we can now see that our money is still continuing to grow, which is fully expected as we continue to construct. Paper mills are now fully employed in Anhalt. Fantastic. And the glass works is finishing up in Brandenburg. Beautiful. So looking at our construction queue here, yeah, it'll be 28 weeks until we're through this queue, but that's reasonably fine. Our debt is virtually gone. It'll be like 4 more weeks until our debt is gone. That is beautiful. Absolutely great here. Approximately 3 weeks, like 2.2 weeks, actually, realistically. But our debt is virtually gone. So we're basically paying no interest now. Our subsidies are still up there. And what are we mostly subsidizing? Railways. Fair enough. Pretty much entirely railways. I think I'm fairly content with that. However, opium is so expensive. We have no active research right now. And let's move on over to the rotary valve engine. Okay, I actually think I clicked through that. Oh, market access in Silesia. Fair enough. We'll need to build a railway in Silesia. There we go. Expanding that on over. This is actually revenue positive. That's interesting. And these railways are full on cash reserves. Where are we subsidizing railways then? No tooltip here? Okay. Our railways here are increasing their cash reserves. So let's go into buildings under development and look at our railways here. Westphalia. Okay, there's a fair number of these. They're on full cash reserves. And we are subsidizing them. Interesting. Primarily due to the price of engines. So if we look at our motor industry, which was out over here? Somewhere. It was over here somewhere. I'm fairly certain of this. Here we go. Our motor industry here. That's losing cash reserves. Due to the price of steel. Okay. So now if we look at our steel plant, which I believe there was a steel plant here. That's increasing its cash reserves. Noted. So if we were to go into the production lens industry and steel mills. Fair enough. I'm going to toss a steel mill into Silesia at level 5. That should address some of that. Beautiful. Okay, so we'll progress here, and we are now officially out of debt and storing some gold reserves. So that's beautiful. I'm hoping that that will reduce our subsidies cost. Now, as far as our goods for military buildings go, opium is still so expensive. I'm wondering if we can maybe remove opium from the picture here? Let's see. Why are we paying for opium for our military? Ah, right. For hospitals. We're using it as a painkiller. Got it. That makes sense. So in that case, we could try to import more from the Russian market, but it's not going to be great. We ended our rivalry with them and started importing their opium. So opium is produced from opium plantations. And I believe that we simply just cannot build those here. Or we lack the technology? Is it under military? That's the Navy there. I'm not seeing a lot there, to be honest. Okay. But that is a huge amount of our expenditure here. We're also spending 101k on government wages. Fair enough. That's to be expected. But that 31k on opium, that's a lot. I would like to reduce the price there. And ammunition would be nice as well. So building some ammunition industries wouldn't be the worst possible thing. So if we go into here and we build, not arms and ammunition, or rather munitions plants. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Fantastic. We'll sort by revenue, and it looks like the location to build this would, in theory, be Anhalt. I'm actually going to build it in Posen, though. And we'll just get that up to level 5. Cool. So we'll get that underway. We've got a bunch queued up here. Did our construction production drop? I thought we were at 196. That's interesting. That's very interesting. At any rate, I wouldn't mind expanding our construction sectors. Something like this. It's going to be a pretty large expansion, but I think it's fine. So let's get that queued up, and that's going to be a while before that's done. 31 weeks. But that's acceptable. So we will proceed here. Synthetics plants, yep. Steel mills. Yeah, all looks good there. Our paper mills are fully employed. Fantastic. Market access in Posen has dropped a bit. So let's go ahead and queue up a railway for Posen. There we go. Cool. Okay, so that should be absolutely fine. We are paying a decent amount in welfare payments. But primarily, government wages and goods for military buildings and military wages. Those are our 3 primary expenditures. Opium ammunition. That's the big ones. So building those munitions plants will be a big deal. The steel mills will finish up here. Eventually. And yeah, we've just got generally a lot of things queued up right now. So I'm not going to be too concerned about queuing up anything else. But I want to expand our construction sectors. Out of curiosity, is it possible to de-expand our construction sectors once we get to a certain point? That cancels the construction. Okay. But can we remove levels? I don't know. Because looking at this, this was saying that it's expecting each level of construction here to be negative like 5k. So I'm a little concerned about that one. A little bit concerned about it. We have built up our gold reserves somewhat, though. So it should be reasonably fine. Let's see how this feels and if that's accurate. 1 week until this construction sector finishes up. It is now done, and our balance went up. Now it went down. Okay. Noted. This was at 189, then it went to 188. Are constructions not being fully employed? I'm not sure. Where are our construction sectors at? Not over here. Here we go. Okay, so just looking in at this. Interesting. So, I mean, we are dipping negative. I'm not super shocked about that. That is somewhat what I expected as we work on all of those construction sectors. Like I said, it was indicating to me in a previous episode that each of these would be losing us like 5k per week, which is a lot. But I did want to get that somewhat expanded. So 217 construction. Yeah, I think this is fine. We can deficit spend for a while again. And work our way back out of it. And we're keeping in mind as well that we are at high taxes instead of very high taxes. So this is still a pretty big improvement for us. No doubt about that. And we're up to 241 construction now. That is a pretty large increase, about a 20% increase in our construction speed. So that should be fine. Tooling workshops, wheat farms, textile mills. Yeah, our munitions plants will be finishing up shortly. And those are not so much targeted at making money themselves, but rather at saving us money for the goods for military buildings. That's what that's targeted at. So reducing our ammunition costs. Explosives, tools, yeah. I would like to import additional opium. It's unfortunate that we can't. Our demand for it is very high. And there's just nothing we can do about that right now. There's no import routes that we can set up. We cannot produce it ourselves. So it just is what it is. We'll just have to deal with it. Cool. So there's all of our construction expanded up. Beautiful. So how much more construction can we actually expand? In Prussian Saxony, we can take it up another 15. Yeah, here we can see minus 4.38 predicted earnings per week. But I believe that's only while we're constructing. If I'm reading this correctly. Well, there's still wages, to be clear. These are different numbers, actually. That's fascinating. Hang on, there's a diplomatic play. What's going on here? Communist Krakow is trying to stamp out a revolution. Interesting. So, Communist Krakow is trying to annex regular Krakow. I see. And they're kind of sandwiched between us, Austria, and Russia. This is going to be awkward. Russia is leaning Austria, as are Netherlands, Saxony, and Brazil. We don't really want to escalate this, per se. And we can't support Austria in a diplomatic play here. We can lean towards Communist Krakow, but we're probably going to declare neutrality if this escalates. I don't see currently a universe where we take this. Well, it depends. No, I don't see a universe where we take this unless Great Britain and France join us over here. So I think for the moment that's fine, especially with us dipping negative in our income right now. So that'll be okay. We are constructing a lot of things at a time right now. And that's good. That's very, very good. For the time being, we will ignore this diplomatic play. But that's where we're kind of going with it right now. They're in the diplomatic maneuvers phase right now. And we're probably ultimately going to declare neutrality, especially if all of these guys declare neutrality too. So we're keeping an eye on that. But I don't want to join Communist Krakow in the diplomatic play right now. I think that would be a bad move for this moment. Okay. So Portugal, Saxony declared themselves neutral. Great Britain declared neutrality. If France also declares neutrality, then that's our move. Switzerland declared neutrality. And Communist Krakow backed down. Okay. So we don't need to declare neutrality there. Cool. There were unhappy mine owners, but when I paused it to look at the event, it went away. Interesting. Well, that'll be fine. And we are, of course, running a deficit with our newly expanded construction sectors. So that's great. We did, of course, get quite a lot of new construction sectors. And that will allow us to continue to climb in the GDP rankings, if we can look at this. Okay, yeah, we can see that we leveled off a little bit there, but that was mostly because we were building things that weren't necessarily productive for us so much. I want to see, how are we doing in terms of munitions manufacture? So currently munitions are even in price, and we're the number 3 producer worldwide. Okay. Cool. So the price on ammunition should be dropping pretty dramatically, and it has. It has dropped a pretty good amount. So that's excellent. Hey look, Austria embargoed us. Who could have seen that coming? Well, at any rate, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we are going to continue expanding our economy to meet the needs of the expanding economy. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, JJ Gamer, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, Atala, Shadow Wolf, Jens Graham, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Kadra, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.